Just a follow-up to that. So how do you determine what's Facebook-worthy, blog-worthy, Twitter-worthy, and then how does that get vetted through the organization? Who manages that? How does that work for you guys?
We have our PR person is our social media strategy leader and does a lot of our posts and tweeting and so forth, but she's not the only one. And we really don't want, it's social media, so it shouldn't be just one person. We're trying to create an infrastructure where there's formal things that we do. We have actually a COSI on Wheels, which is our outreach program. We have a blog for them, and all the outreach demonstrators can post. They're on the road, 4 out of 5 days of every week. They have all kinds of wonderful, crazy stories that they like to tell. We've equipped a lot of people with flip video cameras so they can go out and capture the moment. We have a lot of cameras, just still cameras that you can check out. And then, depending on the medium, they may be doing it through their own social networks, or they may be then bringing it to us to do through the COSI social network. And we, generally speaking, in Twitter, we post a lot more because it's a fast-moving stream, and if you missed it, it's gone. Whereas in Facebook, we're much more careful. We post fewer times. We also treat them as really fans. Whereas Twitter is more, people are kind of interested. It'll reflect a much wider geographic base. We have people from all over the U.S. Who follow us, whereas Facebook it tends to be more people who would likely visit, and so we treat them more as insiders. And that's kind of how we determine the content as to which goes which place. For blogs, it's really that insider story. So our CEO has a blog, COSI on Wheels has a blog, and then later we'll have one. It's really they curate their content, so it's kind of they follow their nose. And that's important because we, as a marketing team, don't want to dictate what they do in their blogs. It really has to reflect them.
Yeah, again, and it totally depends on the size of the organization. GCAC is pretty small, so it's just a couple of us who are working on the social media. But it really helps to have a schedule. Sit down and think about the year. And plug in your major things, the things that you know that you're going to want to promote, and then it's easier to fill in around that. I think that Chris's points are absolutely true. Twitter is fast-moving. Facebook, more than a couple posts a day are you reduce your effectiveness. So, and I think that, and sometimes even it's okay to skip a day on Facebook. Yeah, coming up with a schedule and then trying to plug other resources and things around it. Think about what's newsworthy to the people who you serve, and that can help you sort of find some of those other resources.
And for us, we have our citier page, and then we have fan pages for each one of our sites, so it's a little different. It's also different for us because what we find is that the majority of people who like us and follow us will be applicants or potential applicants, so it's a younger crowd, so it's a very different message. And then we find with our localized sites, like the heavy-duty Facebook users, that's a good source of information to get out to them. So I think for us, it was really about finding what was the best method. So there's nationally a best method, and then like locally there was a best method. So knowing where most of your people are going to come from. Are they going to come from Facebook, or are they going to come from Twitter? And I think you can use both, but that will help you understand where you should maximize or what opportunities you can maximize and where you should spend your time if it's going to be one or the other more heavy. And then we have a core member blog too, and it's the same kind of thing. I mean, we pick different core members to blog, and they blog about their experience, and we just prep them so that it's appropriate and they're sending the right messages, so that when people read them, again, it's kind of on brand and it's from a perspective that people kind of understand.
I'll add in on the social media too. I know from an efficiency standpoint, you can connect Twitter to Facebook and do one post and let them go through together, but we would advise against that. One, you can annoy your Facebook people by seeing all these tweets that are fed there all the time. Plus, you can be a bit more conversational sometimes with Twitter. And if you get into a conversation that then is feeding to your Facebook account, that just doesn't make sense to anyone who's reading it.